Video footage shared on Telegram and Twitter recently showed how Ukrainian soldiers have begun dropping as many as 10 grenades at once from rotary blade UAVs, and a new clip shared online this week reveals how it works. Video footage shared on social media last week showed Ukrainian troops using a drone to drop more than 10 grenades at once. It's not the first time footage like this has emerged, with several video clips recording from the drones dropping the munitions showing how grenades and other explosives are dropped from commercial and military-grade UAVs on Russian positions. While Ukraine is certainly not short of high-tech weapons, which are constantly arriving in the country from the United States and other NATO allies, troops have repeatedly turned to these improvised weapons to provide a quick and easy way to strike Russian positions with a fair amount of precision. The footage shared on Twitter and Telegram last Friday showed how useful commercial drones can be. The video, recorded by the drone, shows a large number of grenades falling from the sky and striking a Russian position below. Several video clips have also emerged on social media showing how the Ukrainian troops can drop such a large number of explosives from drones remotely and at once. One clip, shared this week by Ukraine Weapons Tracker, shows how the Ukrainian military adapted a large rotary blade UAV to carry a large quantity of RKG-3 pattern grenades. The short video shows the quadcopter resting on bricks, raising it enough to hold the attached grenades beneath it. The drone then takes off from the makeshift launch pad and can be seen rising into the air. Another video clip shared online in late July shows a DJI Matrice 300, a commercial drone typically used for recording video, modified to include a munition rack that holds 8 modified VOG-17 grenades. The short video clip shows how the grenades are mounted in a circular pattern in makeshift holders around the bottom of the grenade. A soldier holds the modified unit, revealing how switches release the grenades one by one. Video then shows the drone taking off from a dirt road, rising into the air and presumably heading to seek a Russian target. It is unclear exactly how Ukrainian troops created these improvised switches and mounts for the grenades, although the white plastic could possibly indicate that they are manufactured using a 3D printer. The battered Russian army, still 100 battalions strong but increasingly fragile, is struggling to stiffen its defenses in southern Ukraine while also seizing a single tiny village on the outskirts of separatist-controlled Donetsk in eastern Ukraine's Donbas region. The Ukrainian army meanwhile is trying to put weight behind a slow counteroffensive in the south while also exploiting gaps in Russian defenses in the east, but without the massive reinforcements commanders say these counterattacks usually require. If there's an exception to this ambivalent state of affairs, it might be the Ukrainian 93rd Mechanized Brigade. It's one of the few Ukrainian formations that actively is liberating Russian-occupied settlements. The 93rd reportedly led the assault that pushed Russian troops out of the village of Mazanivka southwest of Izium in Donbas last week. Videos that circulated online depict Ukrainian troops rolling past ruined buildings and wrecked Russian vehicles. The brigade, which has been fighting in northeastern and eastern Ukraine since Russia attacked in late February, is taking advantage of Russia's response to Ukraine's slow but escalating counteroffensive aimed at liberating the Russian-occupied port of Kherson on Ukraine's Black Sea coast. To blunt the Ukrainian attacks, the Kremlin is shifting to the south around a third of the 50 or so battalions it had concentrated in the east earlier this summer. The battalions that are left in Donbas are too few and too weak to hold every settlement they've captured since February. The 93rd is seizing the initiative. And it's not the first time it's done so. Back in late March, the 93rd led one of the first major counterattacks around Kharkiv, the most vulnerable of Ukraine's major cities. Situated as it is just 25 miles from the Russian border, Kharkiv was one of the invaders' first objectives. But the city's garrison held on. And in late March, Ukrainian forces including the 93rd pushed back, ultimately creating a 20-mile buffer zone around the city that has held till now. In the process, the 93rd met the Russian 4th Guards Tank Division in the town of Trostianets, 50 miles north of Kharkiv. The 93 RD's troopers in their BMP and BTR fighting vehicles, packing Javelin anti-tank missiles and supported by T-80 tanks and off-the-shelf drones, mauled the Russian division. Reporters counted dozens of destroyed Russian vehicles. "It's beautiful," a local policeman said. "All this scrap metal." The 93rd shifted farther south and kept fighting. The 93rd has fired so many of the American-made Javelin anti-tank missiles that officers have struggled to dispose of the missile's spent tubes. The brigade, like most Ukrainian formations, is using a lot of ex-Russian hardware it captured, including a rare known SVK 120mm mortar on the chassis of a BTR-80 armored personnel carrier. This vehicle had a jammed engine and lacked some spare parts, the commander of the 93 RD's maintenance battalion said soon after the brigade recovered the mortar. However, soon she will be fighting against her former owners. Just how far the 93rd can push back the Russians around Izium depends on a lot of factors, including ammunition supplies and morale. But the most important variable might be the Russians themselves. The Kremlin keeps shifting forces between the eastern and southern fronts in order to block Ukrainian advances. If the 93rd gains much more ground, the Russians might wake up to the threat the brigade poses and send in reinforcements to stiffen local defenses. That of course could deprive some other commander of the forces he needs to hold his own lines. Which, in short, is the dynamic underpinning the whole current phase of this 5-month-old war.